All right. Okay, let's see. All right, bows and bow ties. I don't want to take too long. Welcome, TikTok land. You know, I said I was going to try to do more in TikTok land. Welcome, everybody on YouTube or anybody who joins in the next few minutes. Anybody out there in Twitter land and Facebook land. Look, my little TikTok situation is trying to distract me because I still have yet to learn how to do any major sort of live streaming from TikTok. But I just want to get into this whole unhinged beehive situation. Now, look, um, the last couple of days, I think I've posted on Danae Jackson and Beyonce. And over the last maybe week or two, I've been heavily focused on Black culture and the whacked out weirdo music and why everyone is going crazy, right? Now, let me just say this. I wrote down a couple of notes, but I'm probably not going to even use my couple of notes. It's just on a tiny little situation in big letters here, so it won't be too long. Now, look, now listen to me. Beehive, you guys are just gonna have to be unhinged. You don't have to like it, so you can always just scroll right on past me, okay? Because you don't affect any part of my life. I am not a big channel. I don't care. They can shut the whole thing down. I don't care. I don't eat off of this. I don't get paid for it. Now look, I'm standing by what I said. It may or may not come out eloquent. I want you to listen to me. Now, previously, I talked about the whacked out weirdo Black culture. I am part of the Black community, but I'm not part of this whacked out weirdo culture. And yes, I do understand there are non Black people who listen to music that is part of the culture. Okay. If it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply. You can be part of it. I don't know. I don't care. I want you to listen to me. And then I'm going to let you guys go on being unhinged. This is primarily for the whacked out weirdos who are in my TikTok comments. Listen, the reason why I chose to highlight Beyonce is because she is a major influencer within Black culture. Now, does she have crossover appeal? Of course she does. Okay. She has crossover appeal. But um, she definitely appeals to those who look like me. And then she also appeals to when I say those who like me, people who have my skin tone, right? Black people. But she also appeals to those who are part of the LGBTQ community, right? Because you know what she's doing? She's validating them. You heard me. Okay. She's validating a community that wants to be seen, that wants to be heard. So, this is what I always say, you get mad at the sin, not the sinner, right? What I'm getting at before I get into my whole little diatribe is you know how you can still love people, but you don't have to condone lifestyle. And right now, because she's paying homage and she's supporting a group of people who want to desperately be heard and they want to be validated, right? And what happens is, so they're going to embrace that. They're going to embrace her. She knows what she's doing. When she first came out, no, she was managed, right? She appealed to the hip hop crowd. And then she got that crowd and all the women, and yes, girl, yes, all of those people, bow down, bees, and all this other stuff. And I'm a survivor, and girls rule the world. I think we do, but so she was slowly cherry picking how she wanted to amass this large audience. Now, let me recap what I'm saying. She started off with a lot of people, the Black people, the hip hop world. Then she kind of like was like really pulling in the women, right? I'm a survivor, all of that good stuff. Girls rule the world, all that good stuff. Now she's had some great songs. And now what happens is because she's trying to just amass this major audience, what she did was she went to one of the most powerful communities right now. They might be small, but they're definitely mighty. Now she's circling in on the LGBT community. Now, this isn't really about that community, but this was just part of where I was leading up to. I like to focus on Beyonce because she is highly influential. And when I talk about our whacked out weirdo culture, if I look at rap in particular, I notice that it's very misogynistic. It speaks a lot about violence. A lot of people will say, no, 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 it doesn't lead to all these things. I do have a point to this. I'm like, negative ghostwriter, right? Because in several of my lives, and I, especially on YouTube, I made sure I pulled up some of my sources, and I didn't even do a deep dive. I didn't do a hard deep dive. And trust me, I get it. There are going to be some highly intellectual people who can definitely challenge any and everything that I said, but I stand by what I said. What I said was, when you look at some of the evidence, if you look at what happens, music invokes emotion. It invokes emotion. I'm going to bring it back to Beyonce's Beehive and the unhingedness or whatever. It's more the Blue Ivy thing in a second. Music invokes emotion. There's a reason why when you hear a song, you start crying. I talk about it for those of you who go to church or whatever, and you hear certain songs, it can get you hyped. He's able, whatever, right? There's certain songs when you into prayer and worship. When you go to the gym, you play certain songs to get you hyped. You get hyped. You get hyped. You get hyped. You get hyped. Okay. Anyway, the point I'm getting at is, let me sit back. So you go to the gym and you get hyped, right? There's certain songs that put you in a certain kind of way. Now, where am I going? You got someone like Beyonce who clearly is, I don't know what's going on with her. Everything about her is highly sexualized. I said what I said. Everything about what's going on with her right now is highly sexualized. She doesn't even realize she's just another cog in the wheel. See, you have other non-black artists can get up and be like ding 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 ding, and they can just sing, right? Ding 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 ding. That's all they got to do. But black women have to get on down the ground. They got to slither and they got to bump the ground and all this other stuff. We got to do a whole lot just to be seen. Now, where does Blue Ivy come into this? Now, I was minding my own blackety black business, scrolling. Is it scrolling? Yeah, scrolling through ticking in the talk, right? Enjoying my time off, and I'm getting a lot of clips of Blue Ivy. Now, I wouldn't have known that she was on tour until I saw it on TikTok. Now, what she did in on tour wasn't bad at all. She didn't do anything. She had her little choreography. She did a cute little job. I think her choreography, from what I've seen in the clip, seemed age appropriate. The issue isn't even her dance. Her dress was age appropriate. My concern is Holly Weird. This is a baby. And I don't care what anybody in those comments say, I know she is seeing a lot. Because see, what's happening right now is Beyonce has a group of people that are surrounding her that love that validation. They're tethered onto her, they're attached to her right now. A whole bunch of people, you got a bunch of people who are just happy to be in Beyonce's presence. She's been elevated to a demigod status. I said what I said. I said what I said. And so you can't tell me that Blue Ivy is not seeing and hearing a lot of things. You can't tell me that Beyonce has control of every aspect of what's happening behind the scenes. Look, we see what happens when we have our children, and I say our, I mean like just adults in these industries. And as much as people want to sit there and fight me on it, I stand by what I said. I'm like, I really wish this little girl was not on tour with her mother. Her mother already is on tour and bumping and grinding and all that. She's getting it, like she's just throwing down. She's going to see her mom performing these kinds of things. Not that she couldn't see it at home, but now she's going to be live and up front. Who knows what people are talking to this little girl about behind stage? She's seeing her mom. There's a difference between being live and in concert and then seeing through the lens of a computer. I mean, or TV or whatever. For example, I was scrolling through TikTok and I see clips of Anita Baker, right? But I also was at that concert that she brought to what was it, the CFG Arena in Baltimore. By the way, I'm like, I'm not a big fan of going to concerts in Baltimore, but we went to Baltimore. Different experience. Different experience of hearing when Babyface was paying homage to Whitney Houston, and then of course the way Anita came out, we couldn't stop singing her songs, that she just had to pause and just let us get it all out. We just had to get it all out because we were all right here, right here. From beginning to end, 365 days in the year. I mean, I was all into it. Sweet love, okay. I apologize, okay. I was into all the songs, okay. I think I even had a solo. I was so loud. I was loud. Like, Where am I going? The point I'm making is this baby is on tour with her mom. Not only is she seeing the magnificence of her mother, her mother's beautiful and she's talented, right? But there's a difference between the spirit that's in the air and watching her mom doing all this. And what's happening is you can't tell me she hasn't seen anything, that she hasn't peeked from behind the curtain or whatever, right? This little girl is going to be desensitized to that. She's at 11 and she's seeing all kinds of stuff up front and close. You know why? Because she just learned a whole routine to be on this tour, right? So imagine all the practices she's set. You can't sit there and tell me that she has not had this little girl watch some of these practices over and over. Uh, up close over, and then she's probably hearing the syncopation, right? The beats, let me tell you, the beats of music, the chorus of a song, the melodies, all these things invoke an emotion. And I'm telling you right now, this little girl is seeing things that most 11-year-olds are not seeing. Now you got the whacked out weirdo Beehive who are going to sit there and co-sign this. Mind your business. I'm like, look, I'm allowed to have an opinion. That's why this is my channel. It's called the Black Opinionated Woman, also known as a Bow. So it's my opinion. If you don't like it, go ahead and scroll past. Go right on past. Walk on by. I don't even know why I just keep singing these random songs. So anyway, let's get back into my situation. There was nothing wrong with the dances, at least from what clips I've seen. I don't think she was dancing suggestively, rightfully so, as that's her baby. But what I am saying is she is around an element of people. Lost my connection. No, you better connect. You better reconnect. She's around an element of people who live an alternative lifestyle anyway. I said what I said. Hold on, I never even showed what the thumbnail was. If you are in on my YouTube situation, this is the thumbnail you selected to get into it. So for those of you who don't know, I just brought up a thumbnail for my YouTube. It just basically has a couple images of Blue Ivy and with her, and then Beyonce's out front. It just basically says, "This is my protege." Okay, back to me. So look, what Blue Ivy did wasn't necessarily wrong, but she's surrounded by a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, where was I going with this? I wanted well, first of all, it's not what I want. I mean, to be honest, I'm sure people are going to make a comment about this. Blue Ivy, I just wish she wasn't on that tour. We have such a bad culture right now. And because Beyonce is elevated to demigod status, like you have people who have blinders. Like I said in previous content, she's like a siren. Mermaids are supposedly friendly. Sirens are the antithesis to a mermaid, right? The sirens are the ones who sang solars into crashing their ships into the mountains or whatever, right? They're like the sirens are evil, right? They had that melodic sound in it, and people were like hypnotized by it. And then what happens is they would meet their demise. Look up the difference between a siren versus a mermaid. So now this is where I'm going. Beyonce has a stranglehold on people. She does. And people don't like the fact that I'm like out here on an island just calling a thing a thing. And people are allowed to be mad. But like I said, that baby is on that tour. The baby's on the tour. And what happens is people want to turn a blind eye because they want to be into Beyonce's realm so much. So they don't think there's anything wrong with what she's doing. That little girl is being exposed way too early. She's growing up too quickly. She knows too much. So anyway, back to the unhinged Beehive. What was I trying to say? I said basically they idolize Beyonce. It's a bunch of selfish people who just want to big up this little girl. Now I don't think we should be trying to take down a little girl at all, because I don't think Blue Ivy did anything that was horrible. She had a cute little choreography to the routine, I think it was kind of like age appropriate. She didn't do anything suggestive, and I like how she was age appropriately dressed. I just wish she wasn't around any adults. I don't even care about your sexual orientation. Just being on these tours, I'm like, she's seeing too much. So if every time she goes out there and performs this thing, now this little girl's going to be out there performing. I just kind of feel like we're in like about 10 or 15 years, we're going to get a little expose or something on Blue Ivy. We're gonna get some sort of tell-all book or something on the things that she's seen. Because at the end of the day, Beyonce keeps it the tight. She likes to keep things under wraps. But I'm telling you, this girl's being exposed to too much. She already can't live a normal life as it is. And so, as much as you guys don't want to hear it, check this out. Beyonce's lyrics are just based on sexuality. She may throw in a couple of songs here and there. Brown skin girl. I like the song. She's got a couple of good songs. But the fact of the matter is, much of her image, all of it actually, is centered around her sexuality. Much of it. She's not promoting all this. What about womanhood is she really promoting? Is it just sexuality? I'm like, give me a break. All these people are out here, they're really just delusional. Delusional. Anyway, this little girl is being immersed all around this industry that she's creating more love for the industry than anything else. And Beyonce can't sit here and tell me how much she's a Christian. Look, we all are gonna fall short. Add me to that list, okay? So I understand that I've got my flaws, but it's just so weird to hear her talk about how she's just such a Christian, but the things that are coming out of her mouth are so antithetical to what that is. It's kind of like when I never really watched the show. I think I saw like about 5 minutes of the Latasha Scott and Escape reality show. I just really couldn't get into it. I was like, my inner like ADD and ding dongery kicked in. I was like, I don't even care. But I know the story surrounding her and the allegedly taking a $30,000 and wanting to go start this gospel career. And it threw me off because I'm like, she wants to. I was like, wait a second. You got all your joints hanging out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having boobs and like the woman's, but there's nothing wrong with the woman's body, but then there's the spirit on how you're trying to use it, right? So she's got this is just popping and locking. She's sitting there talking about she's got her open marriage. I couldn't even understand. First of all, I was like, is that her? She had this weird blonde hair on her head. I was like, what is happening right now? I was like, who is that? Where I'm going with that was you can't sit there and say I want to sing gospel, but hey, we got an open marriage. I got these going, popping and locking out here. So I was like, okay, your messaging is confusing. Your branding is confusing to me, just to me. So that's why I say the same thing with Beyonce. You can't sit there and be like, I love God and all this other stuff, but then you're promoting something that is not in line with God's agenda. So I say you can still love the people. The people are important, but you can't promote the lifestyles, what I'm getting at. And this girl is around just the industry in general. I don't care if the people were not even part of the LGBTQ community. It just that part's not even a thing. It's the fact that she's in that industry. We know what goes on in that industry. And you can't tell me she's not sitting there watching and seeing things. Like I said, she's got to get out there every day and see her mom. Like I'm like that stuff I do for my husband. I'm like, he's like, if you don't get out of my way. Sorry, I had an alarm go off because I got some food on top of the stove that I need to take off in about 5 or 10 minutes. So I guess this is my sign to wrap it up. So anyway, Beyonce setting this young lady up because now what she's getting used to is worldwide adoration too. So she's watching her mom, you know, all of this, and sorry, I'm like shaking the table. There's a lot going on. I'm like, okay, that's what she's seeing. That's what she's seeing. Hot mess. So anyway, I just feel like these Hollywood celebrities can't just let their kids be normal. Let me tell you something. I get it. Really wealthy kids, their world is different. I know it's different. Look, a couple years ago, we took the family to Hawaii. And one of the areas that we stopped off in was Pearl Harbor. So here we are trying to educate the kids because we try to make some of our a little educational too. So we're in Pearl Harbor, and I remember off to my left, you walk into Pearl Harbor, and off to my left there were a bunch of teenage kids, and I was like, this was in July, I think, I can't remember. Um, and I saw a lady. It was actually two ladies, but I just remember the one lady for some reason. And I just happened to say, "Are these kids in school or something?" This lady says to me, because I was looking at these kids, and some of them were full on performing. Right, they had an EGOT, an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. They needed a lot of attention, but that's like what teenagers do anyway. This woman says to me, these are children of very wealthy people. Some of these people, I didn't ask, right? She said, this is just their summer vacation to get some of these kids. No, it was a summer camp. It was a summer, it was a summer camp because some of these wealthy people can't be bothered with their kids over the summer when they're home from school, right? And so she said, one week they spend in Hawaii. The next week they, oh gosh, it was like these exotic places. I like Denmark or something crazy. Like they come back more into the continental United States. They have stuff that's over in Europe. So they have like a month and a half, 2 months or whatever of this extreme international experience without their parents. They have everything. So the accounts, the lady, she said that these kids have everything. It's kind of like, so how do you even do a camp? Like camp has to be extra, right? It's outrageous what happens. So getting back to Blue Ivy, I recognize that she's not going to have a normal childhood, but we don't have to usher her off into the industry so quickly. Like I said, Beyonce is already surrounded by a whole lot anyway. I think she sends conflicting messages to her child. And I just, like I said earlier, for those of you who joined late, I've been talking about the music and the bad culture, the bad Black culture. I'm part of the community. I'm not part of the whacked out weirdo culture. And what I'm saying is everything that we're talking about and promoting in our music is not good. It's just not good at this point. And so what happens is now we are indoctrinating our children early. We say that music doesn't cause these things. I'm like, yes, it does. That's the reason why people, when they hear songs, they're like, they start crying and carrying on. Yes, it does. And she's got her daughter surrounded by all this stuff. Now, those twins, sir, and I, I don't know, whatever. Her twins aren't part of it. Look at what happens with Kim K. What little bit I've seen, I remember there was a couple of times I saw some random clips that somebody else had posted of her daughter North. She is wow. I was like, this was maybe a year or two ago. Like the girl was just like, I mean, like I'm sure she's kind of like entertaining, but not. But it's just not something I want to see. So I don't see. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see anything on these little children. Too much. Too much going on with these kids. So all these people, all these celebs, their kids now are addicted to this lifestyle. I don't like it. Anyway, let me just end with this one little anecdote thing. My old neighborhood, I had a friend in my old neighborhood about six years ago before we moved here. Don't you guys like my flowers in back, by the way? Out by the pool. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice and relaxing? Look. So my old neighbor, she wasn't a neighbor. She was in the neighborhood. We were friends. Her daughter had moved out to California, okay, from the East Coast. She was trying to pursue a career in modeling. I don't know if that ever kicked off. She gets out to LA, and I'm going to do my best to not butcher the story, but this is my understanding. She gets to LA, and I believe it's like some sort of, I think so there was a star, one of the stars that I will not name, okay? This was a white Hollywood male, was having a party at his house, and she was very green, very shocked because so like I guess like the promoters or something or managers or agents, whatever. So like they go to, I want to say it's like an agency, whatever, and they bring in girls. So you have like a bunch of girls come into the party. Sorry, that's some of my neighbors is getting together next door. I should go crash. I haven't talked to them in a while, like all of 24 hours. So they invite these girls over to entertain this particular movie star, a very famous movie star. And she said when she got there, obviously there's all of the, it's happening here. I am so sorry. There's all of the adult medication, we'll say that that's there, which she didn't expect to be on full display. Now we know about these kind of stories we hear from Hollywood, right? So she's like, you got all that on display, but she was like, what messed her up was I guess people have rooms that they go into, and there might be women in there, there might be boys in there, and some of these Hollywood personas that are out there, you don't know who's playing on your team, the same team, my team. We'll just leave it at that. So she was shocked because she was like, "What am I seeing right now?" The second time, it was a different person. She saw something similar. So after two or three times of hearing this story, it became like wash, rinse, repeat, right? It was very boilerplate. And I was talking with her mom, and she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, because she said her daughter went out there and she was so freaked out. She said she went and found the church and started praying. I was like, welcome to Hollywood. So she said that, she was just so shocked at the stuff that she saw that's just out there. It's just kind of like, and I think you got to sign some things, but she's like, first of all, you go out there thinking you're beautiful. Everyone's beautiful. Everyone wants to get into the industry, and she was saying like, there's so many people who are willing to do anything. And she said, I'm like crying because I'm like scared. Like, I don't understand. Like, she was just freaked out. And all I'm saying is, if that's like on the low scale, this isn't even like her, the girl that I know, she wasn't even like on a tour or anything. I stopped asking about it. I don't know. I don't even think she's trying to pursue that career field anymore, because about a few weeks ago, I just got a text message. I didn't even realize she had gotten married and had a baby, and I don't think that's in her situation. Oh, somebody left me a comment. I am so sorry. My wiggly table here. I'm trying to figure out why it's. Oh shoot! Stop. What's happening here? Oh, hey there. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in the Wire Empowered Esquire podcast. Hey, Bo. Hey there. But anyway, what I was getting at was, this girl, she saw so much, and she wasn't expecting. I'm so sorry, guys. She wasn't expecting to see what she saw. And especially, you have an idea of what you think these Hollywood people are like, and then you get to one of these private parties, and she's like, I think he likes men and women. I don't know, or maybe he likes to watch. I don't know. I wasn't there. All I'm saying is, Beyonce should not have her baby out there in this industry. That's what I'm saying. Like those, the other two seem to be protected, but poor Blue Ivy is out there now. She's dancing the jig. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. And like I said, the routines and stuff that she did were perfectly fine for what little bit I saw. Her outfit was cute. I thought she looked adorable. But you can't tell me she's not seeing things behind the scene. And like I said, you can't tell me the subconscious trauma that's being inflicted on this little girl, because every time she says her mama doing this, eh, eh, that's the I do with my husband. And a lot worse. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me get off because I have some stuff on my stove. I mean, I could just text my family to turn it off, but you know how that goes. So, all right. That's it. Look, go ahead and put your little angry comment in the comment section. Go ahead. I get it. You be mad. I know you guys love Beyonce. I mean, I like Beyonce when she's not being crazy, but this new Beyonce is out of control. It's just out of control. I mean, she's just starting it up. So, all right, let me get off of here. Go ahead, leave a comment and subscribe, because you guys know you like me. I'm funny sometimes. No, how do I look? I'm thinking I can touch this. All right. Later.